Welcome to the Wife Stories YouTube channel. New video every day, and don't forget to subscribe. Here we go.
You're too late to realize it. I am standing in the kitchen, flipping bacon in a pan that crackles and pops in the silence. There are 2 plates set on the counter, my wife's favorite porcelain with the tiny pink roses on the rim, and another one identical to it. I've laid out fresh eggs, sunny side up, each yolk trembling under the sheen of almost melted butter. I toast the bread just right. Then I slice a ripe avocado, fan it out, add a pinch of salt and pepper, every detail arranged, every movement calculated. They're both asleep, or pretending to be. Her bedroom. No, our bedroom, though at this point, I'm not sure whose territory it is anymore, sits at the end of the hallway. Maybe he's with her, maybe he snuck out. The truth doesn't even twist my stomach. It only tightens something in my chest, like a silent vice. I inhale and try to ignore the way my throat constricts. The bacon is almost done. I lift it out onto paper towels to blot the oil, feeling my hand tremble just once, a tiny quake I manage to hide. You might wonder how I can stand here so calmly, making breakfast for my wife and her lover. Let me tell you, calmness is a skill, like surgery. That's the only way to describe it. We can slice open a wound without trembling if we train ourselves. And I've trained myself. God, I have. I let my mind drift, remembering how it all started, how I found out. But that's not quite right. I knew it before I knew it. That sense of something off. The rustle of clothes when she said she was working late. The flurry of text messages that made her smile in a way I hadn't seen in years. The half-second of tension in her posture if I asked about her day. Like a slow, creeping shadow, it ate at me. And now it's here, devouring everything. Yet my voice doesn't rise. I simply stack the bacon neatly on each plate, eggs glistening, and walk out into the hall. I pause by the door, listening. It's quiet. Maybe she's alone. Maybe the bed is empty on his side. But I recall last night too vividly to cling to false hope. A month ago, she wore black to a friend's party. Tight dress, plunging neckline. She told me it was just a casual get-together. I suggested a simple blouse, something comfortable. She looked me in the eye, smirked, and said, "No, black suits me better tonight." There was a finality in her tone. A dare. I shrugged it off, tried to ignore the chill that ran down my spine. Later, at that party, she made sure to dance near me, but not with me. She swayed her hips, flashed glimpses of a smile in my direction, letting me see everything I was losing. An hour in, she was gone. People whispered, "Who'd she leave with?" A hush of half-mocking, half-pitying stares. I excused myself, locked myself in the bathroom, stared at my reflection in the mirror. Feeling that hush swirl around me like a vortex, I left the party not long after, driving home in dead silence. She was gone all night. In the morning, I got a voice note on my phone, her husky tone saying, "Yesterday was magical." And nothing else. It was everything and nothing. That's how it all became real to me. There was no explanation or apology, just a bright, satisfied statement of how good her night was with him. I didn't throw anything. Didn't smash glasses or tear photos from the wall. Instead, I took down the welcome sign that hung at our front door, some cutesy decoration she'd picked out years ago, and replaced it with a small plaque I'd made myself. "Enter if you can be faithful." I put it up there like a sentinel, a line in the sand. 2 days later, she came home smiling, as if all was normal, wanting to talk. I said nothing. When she finally turned to leave, I closed that door behind her. It was the sound of something final, a coffin lid maybe, but so soft, it barely clicked. That's the moment she realized she couldn't just walk in and out of my heart anymore. Now, I'm here, making breakfast for 2. My mind leaps to the day I launched Operation Space. 1 phone call, and she was off the yoga club membership list. Another call, and her name vanished from the charity event she'd organized for months. People started to withdraw from her. No drama, No big confrontation, just quiet phone calls that severed her ties, one by one. I had old connections, friends who remembered how I'd helped them in the past. They asked no questions. They just did as I requested. The satisfaction it gave me was a cold, precise injection of relief, a sense of control. Not vengeance for its own sake, more like a scalpel cutting away disease, like removing a tumor. Of course, she noticed. Her texts poured in. Explain. Undo it. I'm sorry. She wrote, I need those clubs, that event. My career depends on it. Then, are you even reading these? Her desperation leaked through the screen. I read every word calmly. My heart hammered in the quiet of our home, but outwardly I was still. I typed back just 2 words. Goodbye. Forever. So how does that lead to me flipping bacon in my kitchen, with her likely in bed after a night with him? Because she found a way to come back, if only for a moment. I heard her keys in the lock around midnight, her hushed whisper. I heard a male voice. Maybe they thought I'd be asleep. Maybe they wanted to see if they could brazen it out in my own house. That is the part that might make some men insane with rage. But rage is messy, and it leaves behind too much debris. I approach the bedroom door, balancing the plates. My left hand goes for the handle. It's not locked. I step inside, stare. The bed is rumpled, pillows tossed aside. She's half sitting up, the sheet draped to her waist. I can't see if she's wearing anything above it. My eyes flick to the far side. He's there, presumably naked beneath the sheets. His hair is disheveled, eyes flickering open at the sound of the door. Her lips part, maybe to say my name, but I hold up one plate in her direction, the other in his. My voice hardly above a whisper, eggs and bacon. Fresh. There's coffee too. Her face flushes. She isn't sure if this is some twisted generosity or a trap. She tries to speak. I shake my head once, a silent command. Don't. He opens his mouth too, and I cut him off before he starts. Eat or don't eat, then leave. I place both plates on the nightstand and step back to the doorway. My heart is pounding so loud, it seems to fill the entire room. Still, I keep my breathing measured, my posture upright. A kind of deadly calm, like I'm about to operate on them. Her gaze drops to the plate. Maybe she's hungry, maybe she's just terrified. He tries to break the tension first, clearing his throat. Listen, man. No. The word snaps out like the crack of a whip. I keep my eyes on her, ignoring him. The silence returns, heavier. She tucks a strand of dark hair behind her ear. Michael. Again, I raise a hand, and she stops. The trembling in my throat nearly chokes me, but I swallow it down. Don't say anything. I manage. Voice low. Just eat if you want. Then get up and leave. Both of you. They glance at each other. I turn and walk away without waiting for their response. They can stay locked in that uneasy silence for all I care. I head back to the kitchen, lean against the counter, and force my lungs to keep working. In, out, in, out. A part of me wants to drop to my knees and scream. Another part wants to smash the plates on the floor, see the eggs slide across the tiles, see the bacon grease splatter like a violent punctuation. But I just stand there, eyes closed, letting that raw tension roll over me. I think about how, a long time ago, we used to stand here on Saturday mornings, side by side, making pancakes. She'd laugh at how I flipped them too high, nearly hitting the ceiling. We'd share those silly inside jokes, talk about the day's plans, maybe a drive to the lake or a get-together with friends. Those moments shimmer in memory, like a warm haze that I can't fully banish. But the ache of betrayal is sharper. Minutes tick by. I hear movement, footsteps, quiet. Maybe they're dressing, maybe they're trying to figure out how to slip past me. I remain in place. At last, they appear in the hall. He's behind her, clothes wrinkled, face pale. She's wearing that black slip she must have put on for him last night. It hardly covers her thighs. Her eyes meet mine, searching, but I give away nothing. He tries again. Look, man, this is complicated. We didn't. I stare at him, just a second too long. A wave of panic ripples across his features. Then I glance at her. She lowers her gaze. Maybe she's waiting for me to scream, or hurl insults, or demand explanations. I do none of that. I step aside, letting the door stand open behind me. Out, I say. They pass by, each step cautious. He moves quickly, as if expecting me to lunge from behind. She tries one last time. Michael. But I twist the doorknob, and the door opens wide to the front porch. She steps out, he follows. Then I close it softly. I lean my forehead against the closed door. Exhale. My voice breaks the silence in a whispered hiss. You realized it too late. I imagine them descending the steps, climbing into whatever car they brought. Maybe his. Maybe hers. She once drove a sleek white sedan that I helped her pick out. I wonder if that was the car she took to meet him at midnight. My vision blurs for a moment, but I wipe my eyes quickly. There's no point in tears, not anymore. I turn and see the plaque on the wall. Enter if you can be faithful. It still hangs there, a quiet sentinel. I remember the day I replaced the welcome sign with it. She had come back, claiming she wanted to explain. I heard her steps behind me, the jingle of keys. But I kept my hand on the door, said nothing. Let her run out of words. When she finally turned away, I gently closed the door behind her. It was the easiest and hardest decision I'd made in my life. But now, everything feels heavier, more final. She brought him here, to my house. This house we shared. It's the ultimate insult, or perhaps the ultimate sign of how far gone she is. My jaw tightens. I feel the dryness in my throat. The sorrow is there, but so is a trembling sense of power, control. I'm not sure. I walk through the hallway, the living room, picking up traces of them. Her jacket tossed over a chair, his cheap cologne lingering in the air. My heart punches against my chest. On the coffee table, I see a wine glass with faint lipstick. Another glass, presumably his, half full with stale wine. The bottle stands next to them. Probably the same wine we used to share on our anniversaries. The nerve of it. My skin prickles with goosebumps. But I keep my composure. I imagine how they must have touched in the darkness. A swirl of images passes through my mind, uninvited. I set them aside. I won't let them bury me. Instead, I head to the small wooden box near the bookshelf. Inside, I have a set of business cards, phone numbers, contacts. People who owe me favors, or at least hold me in some regard. That's how I managed to get her kicked out of the yoga club. That's how she lost her seat at the charity gala. The memory of those calls is fresh, precise. I never raised my voice. I just stated calmly what I needed. The lines of influence run deep when you've spent years building them. Now, though, I'd wonder if I should push further. Make more calls, sever more ties. My hand hovers over the box's lid. My conscience, it tugs at me. Am I becoming monstrous? My breath comes short, ragged. Then I remember her smug departure, the black dress, that phone call from a friend. She left with some guy. The voice note, it was magical. And this morning, her crossing the threshold with her lover like it was nothing, brazen, or maybe just desperate. I closed the box. Not today, at least. I've done enough for now. The house feels quiet, reverberating with an aftermath that no one wants to face. I drift to the bedroom. See the plates still on the nightstand. Uneaten. The eggs congealed, the bacon cold. My hands shake as I pick them up. There's an absurd intimacy in that wasted meal. I recall an older memory. Her asleep in bed, me making breakfast in a hurry before rushing to the office. The difference is that back then, she'd wake with a lazy smile, slip her arms around my waist, and whisper, "You spoil me." That was our life once. So where did it all go wrong? I shift into the next scene of my mind. That friend's party, a month ago. She wore black. She danced near me, almost close enough to touch, but never letting me hold her. The memory replays in slow motion, her glancing at me over her shoulder, the flicker of a self-satisfied smile. Then she drifted away, gliding through the crowd like a dark swan. And after an hour, someone tapped my shoulder. "Hey, have you seen Jennifer?" I shook my head, checked the kitchen, the patio. Nothing. Then I heard someone else whisper about a red sports car peeling out of the driveway, with her in the passenger seat. My blood ran cold. People asked me, "Who's she with?" I had no answers. I find myself standing in front of the bedroom mirror now. That same mirror I stared into at the party. Only then it was a dingy bathroom mirror. The reflection is the same man, but something in his eyes has changed. My lips press into a thin line. My voice escapes in a whisper. "You let it happen." A wave of hot shame burns my cheeks, but then I remind myself, I didn't let anything. She made her choices. The difference is, I'm not turning away from the consequences anymore. My phone vibrates in my pocket. A text from her. "We need to talk." My hand twitches. I consider ignoring it. Instead, I open the message, type. "We have nothing left to say." Hit send. My mind churns, 1,000 conflicting impulses swirling. But the operation of my fingers is mechanical, detached. I step out onto the porch, breathing in the cool morning air. The sun is bright. The lawn glistens with dew. For a moment, I let the stillness wash over me, recalling how this house was once a place of warmth and joy. It was never grand, but it was ours. We planted roses along the fence. We hosted barbecues. Friends admired how we seemed so in sync. Seemed. That's the word. The illusions we weave for ourselves are sometimes stronger than truth. I set the plates on a small table beside the door and pull out my phone again. I scroll through my contacts. The yoga instructor, the charity organizer, a few acquaintances who direct local social clubs, some big, some small, her entire social web. I wonder if I should deliver more cuts, deeper ones. But then I remember the message. "We need to talk." And I recall how she looked, eyes downcast, parted lips that tried to form excuses or apologies. Is there anything left to salvage? My heart stutters. A swirl of feelings. Pain, bitterness, an odd longing. But I'm not naive. I know exactly who she is now. That black dress was more than a fashion choice. It was a statement. The brazen way she flaunted him in my own bed was the final nail. I catch sight of my reflection in the phone screen. My jaw is set. This is how I operate. Clean cuts. Precise removal. No frenzied meltdown. I text back. "Meet me tonight at 7. Our house." Within a minute, she replies, "I'll be there." Another message pops up. "Thank you." Something leaps inside me. Anger or heartbreak. I can't tell. I switch off the phone, sliding it into my pocket. The rest of the day is slow. I tidy up the house, gather empty wine bottles, run a load of laundry. I toss her clothes into a hamper, not caring if they get wrinkled. Part of me wants to burn them. Another part just wants to see them gone. Finally, the clock reads 6:45 p.m. My heart's a hammer in my chest. I set a chair at the kitchen table, place a single glass of water in front of me, and wait. At 7:03, the doorbell rings. No sign of the lover. She steps in, wearing a simple blouse and jeans this time, hair pulled back. The makeup can't hide her eyes, red from tears or lack of sleep. She sees the new plaque on the wall. "Enter if you can be faithful." She chews her lip. Then she walks up to me, tries to speak. I raise my hand again, and she quiets. We sit, just the two of us, at the table. The silence is thick. I can practically hear her heart pounding. Mine threatens to break my ribs. "I'm sorry," she begins, voice trembling. "I'm so sorry, Michael, it just..." A quick shake of my head. "No stories." I say. It comes out raspier than I intended. You made your choice. There's no going back. She searches my face. Please, just let me say something. It got out of control. I didn't plan to hurt you. My gaze flicks to the window. You brought him here. She flinches. That was a mistake, I swear. He was drunk. I couldn't send him home alone. And I slam my palm on the table, the sound echoing. She jumps, startled. I speak slowly, like a teacher explaining something to a child. You brought him here. Her eyes fill with tears. I know. I'm sorry. I shut down her words with a look. My throat feels tight, my lungs constricting. The voice in my head, don't let her make excuses. Stay in control. You left me at the party, I say in a calm monotone. Danced near me, then left with him. You came back for your stuff, said you wanted an explanation. I said nothing, and you walked away. Then you bring him here. You share a bed with him. In my house. She tries to speak, but I hold up a finger. She stops. Tears stream down her cheeks, but I can't allow myself the luxury of pity. You want to talk about how you didn't plan to hurt me. My voice cracks on the last word. I swallow, push forward. You left me a voice note saying it was magical. Do you know how that felt? She shakes her head, tears glistening. I was drunk. I didn't think. That's clear. I interrupt. My mind flashes to that morning, hearing her husky, content tone, as if she'd had the night of her life. I swallow again, forcing composure. I told you already. We have nothing left to say. She's sobbing now, quietly, shoulders shaking. Michael, I know you're shutting me out. I deserve it. But can't we? Just. She fumbles for words, voice thick with tears. I still care about you. I still want. Her voice breaks. I watch her, calm as a guillotine. You want a second chance, I say. She nods, lips quivering. I lean back, exhaling. You destroyed the first one. There's no second. She tries to speak again, but I won't let her. I push a piece of paper across the table. Divorce papers. I've had them drafted for weeks. The lines are cold, black text on white, stating the dissolution of marriage in the simplest terms. She stares at them, tears falling onto the page. Michael, please, let's talk about it. My voice is quiet. Sign them. Or don't. It's your choice. But this is the only future we have. She picks up a pen, her hands trembling. But can't we? No. It's final, absolute. My calmness feels like an empty echo. For the first time, I see a flicker of anger in her eyes. She's cornered, frightened, but also resentful. You manipulated everything, she says, voice quivering. Got me thrown out of the club, lost me the charity gig. Why are you punishing me like this? I give a slight shrug. It's not punishment, it's space. I asked you to leave me alone, you didn't. I asked you not to bring him here, you did. Now you have your wish. Him. And you lost everything else. Your own doing, Jennifer. She shakes her head in disbelief, tears smearing her mascara. This is insane. You can't just cut me off from everything I've built. That's my career, my life. My laugh is short, bitter. You cut me off from my life, from the trust we had. You served the first blow. I'm finishing the fight. She buries her face in her hands, sobbing. My chest tightens painfully. My entire body is tense, but I can't let go. If I do, that sorrow and rage might burst out, unstoppable. She drops the pen. I need time. I can't sign now. I stare at her for a moment, then stand, pushing my chair back. My knees feel unsteady, but I remain upright. You have until tomorrow to decide. After that, I'll proceed with the filing myself. She gazes up at me, broken. You can't just do that. Wait. I raise a hand, cutting her off yet again. Yes, I can. And I will. Goodbye, Jennifer. She starts to stand, but I walk past her, heading for the front door. My heart is pounding so loud it drowns out rational thought. I open the door, the night air rushing in. "Get out," I say quietly. She tries to touch my arm, but I move away. Her sob is a strangled sound. She clutches the paper, gathers her purse, stands in the doorway, tears tracing lines down her cheeks. "Michael, please. I'm sorry," she whispers. I say nothing. My silence is heavier than any shout. Finally, she steps out, and I close the door. I slump against it, my forehead pressed to the wood, breathing fast. The house is mine again, empty, echoing with memories I can't chase away. I close my eyes, letting the quiet envelop me. Time passes in a blur. I sink onto the couch, every muscle aching from tension. My phone buzzes more than once, but I ignore it. The hours slip away. When I finally check, it's midnight. Her texts fill the screen. She begs, rages, pleads, apologizes. She claims she can't live without me, that he meant nothing. Then she threatens to take everything if I push for divorce. Then she apologizes again. A cycle of desperation. I power off the phone, toss it aside. My mind goes to him. Brad. I saw the fear in his eyes this morning. That look of shock as I offered them breakfast. I wonder if he's with her now, comforting her, or if he ran the moment things got complicated. She said she didn't plan to hurt me, but to cheat is to plan, whether you realize it or not. And bringing him to our bed, there's no excuse. The next day, I work from home, trying to bury myself in marketing reports. Numbers, analytics, campaigns, anything to keep my mind occupied. But every so often, I look at the silent phone on my desk. I turned it on in the morning, saw more messages from her, and turned it off again. A short time after noon, the doorbell rings. My pulse leaps. I stare at the door. Probably a courier or neighbor, but there's a peculiar tension in the air. Cautiously, I open the door to find him. Brad, the lover, standing there, looking anxious. He holds out a piece of paper. My eyes flick over it. A note, presumably from her. I don't even take it. "What do you want?" I ask, voice steady, though my heart smashes against my ribs. He shifts awkwardly on the porch. She asked me to bring this. She's at my place. She's a mess, man. I say nothing. He exhales, glances at his shoes. "Look, this is complicated. I never wanted to cause trouble. It just happened." He tries to catch my eyes. "She was lonely. She said you too." I hold up my hand. "Stop talking." He flushes. "I just think maybe you should read what she wrote. She's sorry." He extends the paper again. I narrow my gaze, feel the coil of tension in my stomach. "You think that changes what you did. You want me to say, 'Sure, all is forgiven.'" My voice trembles. I force it steady again. "Get off my porch." He grimaces, a flicker of frustration crossing his face. "You can't blame her entirely. Maybe you were absent, or get out." I snap, stepping forward, forcing him back. My fists clench, nails biting my palms. He stumbles, nearly losing balance. "Fine," he mutters, "but if you want to talk this out." I slam the door in his face. His muffled curses fade. I release a ragged breath, feeling my legs threaten to buckle. My head swims with adrenaline. I vow not to open that door to him again. Evening comes. I realize I need to finalize my approach. The memory of Operation Space stings my mind. I'd only made a few calls to isolate her from certain social circles. Now, part of me contemplates finishing the job. But something in me hesitates. Am I destroying her life out of vengeance or freeing myself? The lines blur. I head to my office. That small room with the desk and bookshelves. I keep the lights off. Sitting in the dark, I recall the day I first set eyes on her in San Diego, how she was so full of life, how I'd wanted to share that brightness. Over time, it dimmed, Or maybe I wasn't enough to keep it lit. The day we married, I truly believed we'd be faithful always. And now, I stare into darkness, finding no easy answers. An hour later, the phone rings. I glance at the screen. Her name. Against my better judgment, I answer. What? I say, more like a statement than a question. She sniffles. I'm sorry to call, but I'm outside. I need to talk. Please. It's about the papers. I can't sign them yet. I want to say, go away, but my throat constricts. I can hear the desperation in her voice. For reasons I can't define, I stand, walk to the door, and open it. She's there in the porch light, hugging herself against the cold night air. She steps inside, and I notice how pale she is, how shaky. The part of me that once would have wrapped her in a hug is gone. Instead, I say, speak. She exhales unsteadily. I lost my job. They won't rehire me after the fiasco with the charity. My reputation is ruined. I have no one to turn to. Tears form in her eyes again. Brad he's supportive, but it's not enough. I realized I made a huge mistake. She chokes on a sob. I don't expect you to forgive me, but please, can we not rush into divorce? Just time. My chest tightens. Time for what? For you to bounce between me and him. She shakes her head fervently. No. I ended it. Last night after we left here. He was all bravado, but I saw through it. He doesn't care about me. And I realized how much I missed you, missed us. My voice is a razor's edge. Us died when you left that party with him. She flinches. I know, but I was stupid. I got carried away. He paid attention to me in ways I felt you didn't. I felt neglected, and I made a terrible choice. I feel my composure teetering. My breath is uneven. So you punish me by humiliating me in front of everyone. And then you bring him here. Her lips part, searching for words. There's no excuse. I can't undo that. But I'm begging you, please, don't push me out completely. I want to try again. A swirl of emotions floods me. Anger, heartbreak, a faint flicker of old love, or maybe it's just pity. My voice cracks. Try again. After everything. She reaches for my hand. I step back. She lowers her arm, tears dripping. I know it seems impossible, but I'll do anything. Therapy, counseling. I'll find a new job somewhere else. Just give me a chance to make it right. My eyes burn. I think of the nights I spent alone, the cold clarity of my revenge calls, the plaque on the door. I can't trust you. I whisper, my voice almost lost. How do I know you won't do it again? She hesitates, tears shining in her eyes. You don't. But I swear I won't. I know you may not believe it yet, but I'll prove it if you let me. My throat bobs. Silence stretches. Then I speak in a low monotone. I gave you everything. I believed in us. And you said it was magical. With him. You can't pretend that didn't happen. I know. She sobs. I know. The clock on the wall ticks mercilessly. I glance at the divorce papers on the coffee table. My mind flashes to that morning when I found them in bed. The eggs and bacon I made. The humiliation. I close my eyes for a moment, muster a last ounce of composure. There's no going back. I say. She covers her mouth, tears flowing again. So that's it. I stare at the wall, voice hollow. Yes. She stands there, shoulders trembling. Then she nods, broken. I'll sign, she whispers. Tomorrow. Just, please, don't do anything more to me. Don't destroy what little I have left. A bitter smile tugs at my lips. I don't need to destroy it. You did that yourself. She breaks down, sinking to her knees, sobbing. My heart squeezes painfully. I hate this. Hate that I still feel anything. Hate that she's making me watch her agony. I step toward the door. You should go. She wipes her eyes with her sleeve, stands, swaying. She glances around, one final look at the living room we once shared so many memories in. Then she exits into the night. I close the door softly, the same final click as before. The hush in the house grows deeper, like a vacuum. I'd like to tell you I felt relief, but I felt only emptiness. I wander to the bedroom, the bed, a swirl of images, her body entwined with his. I shudder. My arms cross over my chest, hugging myself. I vow I'll never let her or anyone else step on me like that again. In the next few days, we manage the legalities. She signs, hands me the papers without a word. She doesn't even ask about reconciling anymore. Some last hope in her must have died. She's quieter, more withdrawn, each time we meet. I keep contact minimal, like a surgeon finishing up a procedure. No extra conversation. No emotional outbursts. Meanwhile, I let the operation space stand. I don't add to it, but I don't reverse it either. She's out of her beloved circles, blacklisted from the events she once orchestrated. She tries to rebuild, presumably. That's none of my concern. I see bits of gossip swirl online about her abrupt fall from grace. People suspect scandal, but no one knows the details. I remain silent. Brad tries to call me a couple of times. I don't answer. He leaves a voicemail, talking about wanting to clear the air or explain how it happened. He says he regrets hurting me. I delete it without listening to the end. I owe him nothing. Eventually, the day comes when we finalize the divorce. I hand the signed documents to my lawyer. He files them. A few weeks pass. The court date is perfunctory. She stands there, eyes cast down. I answer the judge's questions calmly. She does the same. The gavel taps. It's done. Outside the courthouse, she lingers. I sense she wants one final conversation, but I walk off. She calls my name softly. I pause, turn around. She's clutching her purse to her chest, as if it's a life jacket. The wind lifts her hair slightly, revealing the tear tracks on her cheeks. "Michael," she murmurs. "I'm sorry." I look at her for a long moment. My heart beats once, twice. Then I say the only words I have left for her. "Goodbye. Forever." Her lips tremble. She nods, tears slipping free. I turn and walk away, not looking back. You might think that was the end, where rage or heartbreak might crush me. But sometimes, the worst storms leave behind a strange clarity. The day after the divorce is finalized, I wake up to an empty house and realize it's truly mine again. The sign at the door is still there. "Enter if you can be faithful." I run my fingers over the letters. They feel like a brand on my soul. I gather up the framed wedding photos, set them in a box. The ring, my wedding band. I slip it off and place it on top. There's no ceremony to it, just a final acceptance. Then, I drive that box to a storage unit, toss it in, and lock the door. In the following weeks, I focus on my work. Early mornings, late nights. My coworkers notice the dark shadows under my eyes. A few ask if I'm okay. I nod vaguely. I wonder if I'll ever be the same. Probably not. But I've learned something. I'm not the man who begs or yells. I'm the man who acts in silence, surgically removing the infection. That is a terrifying kind of power, one that can erode what's left of your compassion if you're not careful. Yet, somewhere inside, I hold on to a small spark of self-preservation. I haven't lost everything. My parents still check in on me from Florida, worried. I plan a visit soon. I might buy a small cabin near the lake, do some fishing on weekends. I recall how I used to love reading on Sunday afternoons. Maybe I'll return to that. Step by step, I rebuild a life alone. For now, that's enough. The final months of that year pass quietly. I don't see Jennifer again, except once by accident at a grocery store. She sees me, her eyes flick wide, then she ducks her head and hurries out. I don't pursue her. We're strangers now. My phone has no more texts or calls from her. That's how it should be. Brad is out of the picture as far as I can tell. Maybe they parted ways. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. Sometimes, late at night, the memories creep back, the curve of her smile, the scent of her perfume, the warmth of her body on winter mornings. I let myself feel it. I let the ache come. Then I let it pass. That's all you can do. The darkest moments fade, leaving a scar. And scars, ironically, are signs of healing. One day, I find myself standing at the threshold of the house, looking at that sign. The day is bright, a crisp autumn light filtering through the trees. A surge of determination floods me, and I remove the plaque. Enter if you can be faithful. I hold it in my hands, considering. In the end, I don't toss it or smash it. I set it inside a closet, behind the coats, a reminder. Maybe I'll put it back if someone tries to cross my threshold uninvited again. For now, I open my door to the fresh air. The breeze sweeps in, stirring the silence, and I just stand there, letting go, piece by piece, mending in quiet. No more raging, no more heartbreak, just a calm acceptance of everything that's past. This is my home now, my space, my sanctuary reclaimed. And that is enough. I close my eyes, take one last steady breath. Then I step outside into the sun, free at last.